Welcome to the Obesity Medicine Podcast with your host, Dr. Rentea, board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. Here, we talk about a path to metabolic health, and we have real conversations about chronic weight management and living a full life. Just a reminder, I am a physician, but I'm not your physician. So everything that's on this podcast is for informational purposes, but please go talk to your doctor about what's right for you. There is no medical advice being given on this podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Everybody, we have a big treat today. We have the most amazing Dr. Ali Novitsky. She is back. I personally asked her to come back again. If you've been following my podcast a long time, you know that I've had many episodes where Ali has come on. She's talked about the importance of keeping your muscle as you lose weight and you work on your optimal metabolic health. But today I have her back for a very specific reason, because we're going to talk about something really specific, which is how to start strength training. And I want to tell you that I'm going to get to Ali introducing herself in a second, but if you were to ask me what is the top problem clinically that no one can figure out when they're working with me, it's the strength training part. It is incredibly rare that someone either can do their own home exercise program or join a gym or work with a trainer long-term. I literally can think of the hundreds of patients that I've been working with this past year. And on one hand, I can literally name the patients if it wasn't a HIPAA violation. So here's the thing. Ali, I'm bringing you on because, and I'm going to recap this just a little bit because I need people to understand like the gravity of the situation. So people think that they can just like sit back and it's a good idea. They're like, I'll get to that someday. I'll do that at some point. Oh, I know Rentea said we month 2, month 3 would get into all this. And the problem is but this is non-negotiable, right? And I know you say this all the time. I'm taking words out of your mouth. This is really something that if you're 30 years or over, it's just a hell no if you're not going to be doing it, right? And you know, one of the things that we talk about is sort of like, what are the non-negotiables, like the things that you really have to be doing to make this successful long-term. And I think exercise is not even just exercise, but strength training is so important. And you had something that you wrote that I read here recently where you talked about how only 30% of people that are losing weight are doing any form of exercise, not only like that they're, let's say, like not doing strength training, but any. And so I'm just wondering, can you start off here just telling us a little bit about who you are and how you help people? And then I have so many questions for you today to help people to just start this today.
I love it. Well, first of all, I'm your biggest fan. So thank you for having me on. This is super amazing. I'm Dr. Ali Novitsky, and I am also an obesity medicine physician. And my specialty really runs with of the 4 pillars of obesity medicine. So we have nutrition, exercise, mindset work, medication. I focus heavily on the exercise component, the nutrition component, the mindset component, and then I work with other amazing obesity medicine physicians and other physicians when people come in on their medications. So with all that being said, I am super passionate about the exercise portion. And the reason why is because I find that people have the most obstacles, as you mentioned, when it comes to exercise. Okay. And so the way that I like to put it is that it's really easy to mess your bedroom up, like really easy, isn't it? Like, right. It's super easy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's more difficult, much more difficult to actually keep it neat and tidy. Okay. It's so much easier not to exercise. It's so much harder to actually keep it neat and get that exercise in. So that's how I look at it. It's the same kind of brain dynamic. Okay. So I don't want to say that you're messy if you don't exercise, but what I want to say is that developing the discipline of realizing that having a non-negotiable, like you said, workout strategy is going to be the thing that is going to really drive your success. And I'm not talking about the diet culture exercise strategy where it's move more and burn calories. Hell no. I'm talking about moving your muscle, because when we are talking about weight loss, if we're not moving our muscle, we're losing our muscle.
So, okay, I love when you say that. Can you elaborate for people that are listening? Let's say they're like, okay, I'm on board. I get it. Like I've heard Rentea and Dr. Novitski, like everybody's been talking about this all day long, but what is actually required of someone? Like what's the baseline minimum that someone could do to get away with this actually being effective for them?
I love it. That's a great question. The first thing I want to say though, is that individuals who are in a deficit. So basically what this means is you're eating less than what your body is using, and this causes weight loss. Now, I don't talk in terms of weight loss. I like to talk in terms of optimal weight loss. And what that means is you maintain your muscle while you lose body fat. So If we are not doing strength training, and I will tell you the baseline minimum. So if we are not doing strength training and we are not eating enough protein during a weight loss phase, up to 25% of the weight that we lose on a traditional scale. So you look at the number and you see weight loss, up to 25% is probably lean mass. But here's the good news. It's the rule of threes. Pretty much for most people, eating 3 servings of protein a day, that's going to be for most women, 4 servings for men, and then 3 10-minute strength training sessions per week will help to maintain muscle mass. So we get the numbers, honestly, in my groups, people don't lose muscle mass. And most of the people are doing 10 minutes, 3 days a week, and they're hitting their protein goal. And we are not seeing muscle mass loss.
Yeah. And I'm not seeing it clinically either with my patients. And a big part of it's because I'm using your programs with them, right? It's integrated into my care plan. And then we're following InBody, which I talk a lot about. I know you use this as well with body composition. And again, I can count on one hand people that have lost muscle, and that's extremely rare, right? Because, but then I think about, I don't know that we're doing anything unicorn except for the fact that we're hitting the nutrition and then we're doing effective workouts that you have, right? But it's not super hard or very it's not asking a lot is the point, what we're doing.
No. And the name of the game is consistency. So it's not how much you can do at one time. It's how long can you do it for over a long period of time. So it's as humans, right? We are like, oh, wow. P90X sounds great. What is that? Like 90 days? I'm like, yeah, try 90 years. 90 years of consistency. So it's all about changing the way we think about our lifestyle. And it has to be small things. Most people don't get a huge dopamine hit when they're doing small things. People want this big, huge dopamine hit because they're doing this big, huge program. The reality is the results come with that buzz.
Yeah. Can you talk more about that buzz you were talking about? Because we talked about it earlier today. Kind of the nothing super amazing is happening, but you keep doing stuff.
Absolutely. So that low buzz is kind of like nothing's bad, nothing's good, everything's kind of neutral, but I know I'm doing something and my brain wants to tell me it's not enough and my body is telling me it's too much. And that's like the sweet spot. So it's kind of this place, this low buzz is that there's noise that you are doing something towards your health. It's not this huge marathon you're running. Like it's not this big ping, like marathon, Ironman. Right. But no, it's a walk. It's a 10-minute strength session. It's eating some protein rather than hitting the cookie jar all the time. I'm not saying cookies are bad. Cookies are also good. But it's the idea of the low buzz is kind of boring. And that's the problem. When it's boring, people don't want to do it. And that's where discipline comes in. Okay. Completely. Because it's this idea that, it's kind of boring sometimes to say, okay, I know it's 10 minutes. I know it's just a 10-minute workout, but I do this 3 days a week, every single week for the past 10 years. And maybe sometimes I want something new and still showing up and doing it.
I think about, it reminds me of, there's a coach, Bev Aaron, and she talks about, there was a quote exactly you're talking about where it's kind of silent when the stuff is happening. No one's noticing. I would say you're in the night. You're sort of in incognito mode. People don't need to know that this is happening. But when you're saying these 10 minutes, it really reminds me that how many other things do we do daily where we're wasting time? Like we're just on social and we're scrolling for hours on end, we're watching TV. And it's the thing I really like about the smaller amount of time is that it can fit in. It's still effort. It's still to get myself to do it, but it's but okay, I can get myself to just pick up a weight or not use a weight or whatever it is. It's that ask, it's actually not a lot. If you think about collectively your entire week, 30 minutes, if you were really to think about it, would this be something that you think you can do? Most people can say yes to 30 minutes throughout the week.
Totally. Yeah. And then the low buzz leads to the big buzz, which is body fat loss, muscle mass maintenance, and longevity improvement.
Yes.
So the low buzz hits the ringer at the end, right? But it's the low buzz that you have to incorporate in your life.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, but I see these different camps of people, and I know we talked before, and there's some that you see as well. And I just want to kind of talk to these different people because I think that everyone has a reason why they're not doing this, and I think it's very valid when they say what it is, but yet there are answers and solutions. So I'm wondering, can we talk to the person that has maybe never strength trained? Maybe they're over 50 years old. They're like, it feels often what they tell me is like, it just feels inaccessible to them. Like they never learned how to do it. They don't think their body's capable of it. I know I just threw like 50 scenarios at you, but what do you offer to that person?
Yeah, that's a great question because for years, my business started first working with women physicians. Okay. Now, obviously, I serve, many other types of women now, right? However, at that time, in my mind, I delivered one type of workout, right? Because I was much younger then. I didn't I wasn't even thinking about aging then. Okay. And then, a lot of my business kind of reflects on my progress and my progression. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am aging. And I can see now how individuals maybe can't get off the ground as quickly as they used to be able to get off the ground. And then my mother-in-law actually started a weight loss journey. So my mother-in-law started a GLP-1 agonist and she lost a lot of weight and she didn't want to lose muscle mass. So I actually crafted a workout program for her. Now she's 75 and she didn't lose muscle mass. And so I'm like, okay. So if we're saying that the obstacle is that some of the movements that I typically do are not accessible to everyone, let's make them accessible. So I actually created a different phased program. So it's a phase program. And the idea is that phase one, every single movement is done from a chair. Okay. Yeah. So your chair is your assistance. And we use probably zero equipment in any of the workouts. I start adding a resistance band maybe by week 15. But the point is that strength training is non-negotiable. And so it has to be accessible. I can't give somebody a routine that they can't do and then tell them it's non-negotiable to do it. That's
Right.
not fair. That's not realistic. So we need to meet people where they are. And I have a lot of physicians I work with asking for this, saying, okay, and what do I tell my patients? Is there something for my patients? In fact, you were one of the very first ones who said, hey, listen, how do I bring this to my practice? My patients need this.
I think it was over a year ago. I came to you and I was like, listen, Allie, like some of my people, they cannot get out of a chair. Like, do not tell me to get on the floor and to do a plank. That's just it's not within the realm of reality right now, but yet they still need the progression. And it's quite possible that they might be doing that in a short span of time, quicker than we would think. But the fact that we like needed from ground one, but I think that's incredible with your mother-in-law though. And I know she's open about it. So we're not like,
Yeah,
what do the new kids say? Talking out of pocket? Like, what's the lingo nowadays? But I think that's incredible. And I remember you showing some moves online and she was in the video and they're simple moves. Like they're not overwhelming what I was seeing.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing too is I have individuals who are more advanced exercisers who maybe are getting over an illness. Maybe they've had a surgery. Maybe they just don't feel like having anything that's getting their heart rate up. They can do level one and they do level one. And honestly, I create every workout I make. I lead every workout and I am sore from level one. And the movements are super simple, sitting in a chair mostly. Okay. And then there's somewhere you're standing and you're using the chair for assistance, but it works is the point. It's like you don't have to go to a CrossFit gym to be able to maintain muscle mass or gain muscle mass. You can do it from your own home in your pajamas with no shoes on, sitting in a chair.
That was actually okay. So I just want to recap real quick though. So if someone's listening and you've never done it, it doesn't matter. You can start sitting in a chair, no equipment. You literally like, you need an iPad or a phone or something to be able to play the video. But other than that, like it doesn't need to be super involved. Cause that was another thing. I have so many questions for you. So I'm just going to jump around. I feel like there's always a new trend, like this piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, and it gets exhausting. I think it's all gimmicky. Like I'm like, can we just like block me ever again seeing any of this? So I feel like people really get into thinking though, no, I need like a home gym, or they think they need like hours out of their day to go to some CrossFit or whatever thing. And if you love being in a group, that's another thing. But how do you get people over this thought of like, they have to invest in all the equipment to be taken seriously?
Yeah. I will tell you, it's interesting. The reactions I typically get are going to be three different reactions. The first reaction is the person who's like, oh my gosh, sign me up. Okay, they're all in. They are all in, no shame in the game, no ego involved. Okay, that's the first person. Okay, I'm going to talk about the third person next, because then there's a middle person. The third person is like, okay, secretly, this sounds amazing, but my ego is not going to let me believe that 10 minutes is enough.
Totally.
And I'm not signing up for this because honestly, if I sign up for this, then, back in the day when I was the captain of the high school soccer team, I mean, what would they think? Okay, so those are the two extremes. And then my gray zone is like, I think I can get behind that. I don't know if I 100% believe it yet. I mean, 10 minutes, 3 days a week sounds pretty amazing to optimize body fat loss, muscle maintenance, and also let me live longer with more vitality. But I can get behind it. Listen, if Dr. Allie and Dr. Rentea are saying this is working, I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna trust the process here. So I get three different reactions. Probably the most common reaction is probably the middle reaction. Thankfully, we actually our circle runs with people who really want to be healthy and they want to have vitality. So they're willing to be open when you're having two physicians who specialize in obesity medicine sitting here and saying, like, no, this will work for you.
Yeah. Plus, it's really fascinating because you think, 10 minutes is so little, but it's actually a lot when you actually get it in your day and you actually make it happen. We were on, I'm not going to out anything, but I'm in Allie's program, a physician program, and there was a call and someone was like, I thought when you did 10 minutes, that was going to be nothing. And then, it's like they can hardly find the time. So it's like, it's so funny how you think it's going to be so little. But tell me about people that they have no time. Like, because I feel like people, again, they'll always be, they can't get the 10 done or they don't even want to get started. Like, what do you say to these people?
Yeah. So it's this idea that if you have time, is this a priority with the time that you have? Now, obviously, life gets in the way and whatnot, but the reality is, if this is priority number one, priority number two, or priority number three, you will find time. If this is below priority number three, you will have an excuse for how there is no time. Okay. And one of the things that I really try to do with this program is to take the excuses out of it. So if somebody says, I just do not have 30 minutes over the course of a week. Every minute is accounted for. I mean, I work and I have quadruplets and I also have a kid in college and I have to take care of my dog and then my mom needs me. And then you hear the story, because remember, the reason why we tell the story is so we can protect the ego. Okay, Here's the deal. If you didn't make time for it, now listen, emergencies happen. I get that. But in general, if there's not an emergency that happened that day, okay, and it didn't happen, it's because it was not in your top 1, 2, or 3 of priorities. Not a big deal. It was not a priority that day, but you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, exercise was not a priority for me today. Could tomorrow be a day where exercise is a priority for me? Could it be? Let's be open to that. Yes, it is. And eventually what will happen is when you start taking ownership for what's a priority and what's not, you will realize that you actually are in control of your results. Nobody else is there. Nobody else is there to make sure that you're doing it. You have to show up. Okay. And so the idea is, it's beautiful when we can say 10 minutes, because it's the consistency over time that's the win. If you're willing to be consistent over time, what that means is you looked in the mirror and said, yes, I am a priority today. I am. Now, if your top 3 priorities are eat your protein, go to sleep early, and stress reduce, I'll give you a pass on that. Fine, exercise another day. But I don't think that people's top 3 priorities are self-care that's bumping exercise out of the way.
No one's thinking about it, Allie. I don't know if anyone else is having this listening, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like, because you have helped me to get really clear on like, what are your priorities every day? It's like this morning, I know it's a little off topic, but I totally didn't want to do my walk. I feel like I talk 24/7 about this on the podcast, but yet I do the darn walk. And I do it because it's not even a negotiation anymore. The clothes come on, I get out the door, and unless it's like my hands are freezing off, which happened the other day, okay, I turn back. But other than that, it's going to happen. And so it's really interesting when you're talking about, was it a priority for you? Because you can decide these 10 minutes, I will make it happen. I hear people do the 10 minutes like in their lunch break. I hear them do it in the morning. I just hear really creative times when people are making this happen because they want to make it happen. It's like they're 100%. One of my great friends right now, she does it in the call room. Like, I know you talk about this a lot, but she's literally like, listen, guys, if someone can be between delivering babies and trying to get asleep and they can get this done, like we can all she really inspires me. So
Totally. And here's the other thing too, and I'm just going to give you a little behind the scenes. In order for me to have a well-established program ready to go, like when it opens up, let's just say for this new thing I'm creating, I have to have a lot of workouts. Well, if I'm creating every single workout, meaning I'm doing every single workout, level 1, level 2, level 3, there's some mornings where there might be 6 in a row happening. Okay. So I'm like, all right, listen, y'all. If I'm doing 60 minutes, you can do 10 minutes. You can do 10 minutes. And not to compare, but what I want to say is sometimes it's a struggle. But I say, who is this going to benefit? If I get up and I record these videos and I put it out into the world, whose life can this change? And I get down there and I get it done. Okay. So that's the same thing. You look in the mirror and you say, if I commit to exercise, if I commit to my strength training, will this change my life? If you believe that it will, you'll find that 10 minutes. If you think it's not going to change your life, you're not going to find 10 minutes. So you have to believe that this is so epic that it's non-negotiable.
Yeah, you're so right. I really found it was so interesting. I'm going to talk about my own journey with this because I literally went through this with you. Okay. So this is why I think I'm always like, I need you to be the one to talk about this because it's obviously you're an expert in it, but then also how you've guided me. So that was something I was very uninterested in doing strength training. I'll put it out there. I want all the benefits, but I was like, I don't want to logistically do it. And you made it very easy. But the other thing that was very interesting that happened with time is that it almost became very meditative. Like I would always see in your videos that you would do your workouts with no shoes or socks on. And I was like, what if I did that? And then I was like, oh, I can feel the ground under me. And then you were like, you would say these little comments. And I started to really enjoy the time. I know that sounds like, no, you can't imagine that if that hasn't been something, but it didn't become about, I have to lift this weight or do this certain thing. It was like, this is some time when I'm going to get to think because you put a lot of sort of mindsets just based on how you talk. There's just a lot of great stuff that we're talking about and discussing in the things. And I just got to realizing this is so about a bigger picture. And I just didn't need to worry about the whole picture because you would guide me. And all I need to do is kind of just like hit play and connect with myself, really.
That's it. That's app. I love that reflection. And that's what I say pretty much in every beginning video. Just I hit the button and I say, all you have to do is push play. Everything else is just bonus. Okay. Because the idea is that if you push play, it means you showed up. And honestly, if you can consistently show up for yourself, you will get great health results. I mean, that is bottom line. And so again, if the exercise piece fits into Thursday and not Wednesday, so be it. That's totally fine, right? But it's like, okay, how many things are you actually doing for yourself? And as you mentioned, it being regulating. So I use exercise personally for emotional regulation. And a lot of my women who don't love to exercise, when they find the emotional regulation point, and what emotional regulation is, it's essentially when you can calm your nervous system. When they learn to be able to calm their nervous system through movement, they start loving it because they're starting to feel peace again. They're looking for calm and peace. And for the first time in a really long time, they are doing the strength training thing and they're finding peace in their life. And they can't understand it until they realize that strength training, especially when you are focusing on what muscle you are contracting and engaging your breath at the same time, that is actually a form of meditation. And so we're doing regulation. And I will tell you, the beginner level workouts I teach, I am literally cueing the whole time. So I'm saying, you want to contract your bicep. Here we're taking a big breath. And so if you just listen to what to do with your body, you will literally meditate as you're strength training.
It's completely true. I've experienced that. Like, it's interesting that you say that kind of the kind of the pairing and how that works. And it's interesting when you're talking about the cueing, I experienced the same thing with doing your workouts, how you'd be like, and we don't want to do X, Y, Z. I'm like, oh shoot, I was doing that. You're like, we do want to feel it here. We do want, and you're like, oh, it's like, I get it. I get it. It's so different. It's not just randomly doing a bunch of squats and they're all kind of crappy and you're like getting nothing out of it. But it's like, a few quality where you're doing what you're supposed to do will get you a lot further.
Absolutely. It's the whole work smarter, not harder. And really, we care about quality, not quantity. Quantity is so like last year. We just care so much about quality now. One of the things that was really important to me was that because for a while back, in my programs early on, there was a lot of workouts we would lead live, and I would have other coaches come in, and it was fine, except for I didn't have the consistency with how I was strategically programming because there was other people in it. And so then I realized, well, if I strategically program it, we can do less. So why are my people do more? Because I'm not thinking ahead and strategically programming it. And so I have to tell you this cool part. So about 5 years ago, we used to do hour-long workouts 3 to 4 days a week. Okay.
I would die. I would die.
No. I don't even know. It was during COVID, so everybody had time. Then we went to 30-minute workouts about just about over a year and a half. Everybody's loving them. Okay. They love them so much that I said, hey, what about 10-minute workouts? Let's see. And people started getting results with 10-minute workouts. So now we've really shifted, and we obviously have in different programs, we have different things. But the thing we're really trying to let people see is that 10 minutes, 3 days a week is accessible to everyone, really. I mean, we really try to make it inclusive in that way because like you said, it is non-negotiable.
So it's really interesting when you, like as a clinician, when you know someone and you make certain recommendations. Someone was working with me and they were doing great. They were losing body fat, holding on to muscle. And then they decided, well, I want to do the whole trainer route, right? And who they met with recommended like hours per week that they were going to meet with them. It was a really intense thing. And I said, listen, you have this history with binge eating disorder. I think your appetite's going to go up with this. You're already being super successful. Why don't we do, again, your thing where I'm like the 10-minute, and I kind of laid it out. Do you know the person did that and they kept losing fat and gaining muscle? Now, I know that's a rare scenario. We don't kind of say that can happen with everyone. But the point is, if that person had worked with someone that was just like hours and hours and hours training them, I think they would have been binging. I think nutrition would have gone downhill. It's just like the wrong advice, the wrong way of going about it is really going to set you back. And I think we've all been there. I'll just say, like, not that we're all going to like rip programs, but like, I remember Jillian Michaels, I tried it in medical school. Oh my gosh, like injury and all the things. And now I'm like, gosh, she was never an advocate, but but it's just the wrong people will guide you down the wrong road. You know what I mean?
Because it's what they know that works for somebody who has not maybe struggled with emotional eating, hasn't struggled with binge eating, hasn't struggled with leptin resistance, hasn't struggled with insulin resistance, hasn't struggled with like genetic history of whatever. And I think that's the advantage of having, for example, what we do, like being obesity medicine physicians, but being well-versed in kind of all the areas. But you're exactly right. I mean, one of the things that happens all the time is that we're seeing people who are having some metabolic parameters that we need to help with medication. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you take that person and they're already having issues with leptin, again, that's the satiety hormone. So again, leptin is going to be where, if you are losing body fat or you're stressed or you're over exercising, that number, right? It's so you're ghrelin and leptin are opposing, but when you're over exercising, you're tired, you're stressed, ghrelin, your hunger hormone goes up. Okay. And then your satiety hormone, your leptin is going to go down. And so you're going to have an issue where you're going to get hungry. So then you throw somebody into all this extra activity. Okay. Now they're really going to get hungry. Okay. And you're trying to manage fat loss, and we need to be in a deficit for fat loss. Okay. So then what happens? So now they're super annoyed because their appetite is obnoxious.
Yeah.
They're not losing weight. And most people that have ever struggled with their weight are going to be a meso-endo body type. So they don't really have a problem gaining muscle. They typically have a harder time losing body fat because usually they're equipped with a really good appetite.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I know this problem intimately.
Yes, I guess I think that many of us do, quite honestly. And I think that's the beauty. It's like, if you can understand it at this level, I mean, there's an emotional side to this. There's a mental side to this. I love it when the gym bros get all up in our grill about deficit and calories. And I always say, listen, nobody's arguing with that. Yes, a deficit is required. The issue is, if you have anything like leptin resistance, your body can't find the deficit because your metabolism will keep lowering.
Right.
You won't ever find a deficit because you just keep lowering your metabolism. Right. Because of the leptin resistance, and your body is so desperately trying to hold on to your body fat. It thinks that it doesn't have enough. And so I think it's interesting, but these days, sustainable, significant weight loss I think has to be managed by a specialist because I'm seeing too many people come in with bad advice.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like they self-select, right? We need to stay on this gym bro thing for a moment because I just see too much of it. And I think about, people end up dropping out working with them and then they say it's a discipline thing, but it's like they were never actually hearing what was going on for the person. And I almost have compassion for them and understand that there's no way that they can understand this because it's like it's a whole specialty, right? If you think about like the thousands of hours of training that we've had, but I sit there and I think, but the person on the other end that is being made to feel less than when there's actually metabolic things going on and there's a different way to get it done. I think it's just like it's wrong on all levels. And I don't think these gym bros understand what they're even doing, like how detrimental it is.
Oh, absolutely. The beauty and the reason why I speak on it in that way is because before I became an obesity medicine physician and I had my Transform program for women physicians. And so again, nutrition, exercise, many people's strength training exercise, many people's goal was definitely fat loss. And so what would happen is we'd have some that would be very successful. They would maintain their muscle, they would lose fat, and they didn't have any metabolic derangement. It was completely fine. There was an even playing field for them.
Yeah.
Then I would have my ladies who, they're doing everything. They're doing everything as prescribed. I know they are because I'm watching it. I'm monitoring it. Nothing's happening. Okay.
Yeah.
2 years later, okay, now that we have more tools, many women have come back now on a GLP-1 agonist, now complementing the program with their GLP-1 agonist, blowing it out of the water with results because all they needed was a little extra tool to level their playing field. And so here's the point. We have to be able to see each person as an individual to be able to help them with what they need so they can live their most, in their most authentic body is how I like to call it. I don't like to pick a weight. I like to say you will know when you are living in your most authentic body.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is also good. We got a little bit left field, but it was totally necessary because it's 100% part of this conversation, right? So, okay, I could keep talking to you and I had like 10 more questions, but I want to respect your time. So tell us, I know that you have a new program coming out and I really want you to tell us like, who's it for? Tell us about what's in there because frankly, I think this is the biggest game changer and I can't wait for every single patient of mine. This is going to be part of, what we do.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Oh, totally. So this is really cool. And first I have to say that you have had a huge role in this program being created. Okay, first of all, you have done my work yourself. So you saw firsthand the power.
Yep.
And then you saw the thing I love about you is that you're like, there's a deficit here. I need my patients to be strength training. There's a deficit here. What do we do? How do we bring this in? And that's when, we talked a couple of times and we're like, well, let's make the program. Let's make it for patients to have access to this, right? And so there you have it. We decided actually you've had a very instrumental role in the creation of this. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of the new program called Muscles and Mindset. So my podcast is also called Muscles and Mindset, but I thought it was perfect. So it's muscles
totally perfect.
and mindset. Okay. So it's awesome. So basically what happens, and the whole goal here, this program is for somebody who is losing weight, who's on a weight loss journey, desires weight loss, does not want to lose muscle mass, wants to lose body fat, doesn't have a ton of time, doesn't really want to go join a gym and be confused and not know what to do and have sweaty socks. You want to be able to have the flexibility. You want to be able to enjoy what you're doing. You want to be actually like what you're doing. It's for somebody who has never done strength training before. It's for somebody who has done strength training before, and maybe they're at the more intermediate level. They can get from the ground to standing, but that's going to be kind of about it right now. The complex movements aren't really available. It's also for advanced exercisers. So there's 3 phases. Again, phase 1 is from a chair, which is super cool. Now, the beauty is it's super simple. I have crafted and created every single workout, meaning I have professionally recorded every single workout, all 10 minutes. Okay. So you come into the program. Every week, you get 3 workouts. Now, you have a huge library, which has way more than 3 workouts, but you get assigned on your calendar 3 workouts. Okay. Your job is to do those 3 workouts. Now, let's say the workouts are scheduled for Tuesday. It's going to be determined when you start. So everybody's schedule will look a little different. And you can obviously reassign when you want to do the workouts, but it'll say level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, obviously your patients are going to have the advantage where they can ask you and say, what level do you want me to start at? And that's the beauty. A lot of times people say, physicians don't advise me on my nutrition. Physicians don't advise me on my exercise. This is an opportunity for physicians to advise their patients because they can prescribe this program, which, by the way, and I didn't even talk about this yet, my other goal was to make it extremely affordable, extremely out of the water, blow it out of the water affordable.
Which, by the way, we appreciate because people we want people to actually be able to do it. You know what I mean? So
we want everybody needs to do this. It's that good. So you come in, you have your 10 minutes, 3 days a week. Every week is a new workout. You get a unique workout. Okay. So if you do the math, 3 phases, you get 3 new workouts a week. One is upper body, one is lower body, one is full body. So I'm creating 9 new workouts a week over 52 weeks, 468 workouts about. So over the course of the year, there will be access to almost 500 workouts. Okay. It's a one-time payment, which is really cool because I know I have things where it's recurring and this and that and whatnot, but I just want people to be like, listen, I'm going to have a physician program my strength training for an entire year, and it's going to take me 30 minutes per week. I'm all in. Okay. So that's the program, Muscles and Mindset. And I'm really excited because I believe this is the game changer.
So I just want to say for people that are listening, so we will obviously have the link to this in the show notes, or you can go to renteaclinic.com/blog. And again, we always have a blog post for every single one. And so you can see that. Okay. But here's the thing I want to say when you were talking about, because I actually, even before you had this program, I would use other ones of yours. I used what we had and they would get it. And then I would say, okay, we would make goals and we'd be like, I want you to do, 5 minutes, these 2 times a week. And I would actually it's what I call their care plan, meaning like, these are the things we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And here's when we're going to implement it. So you were part of that. So now I'm so excited that it's like going to run itself.
Yes.
And
yes.
The other thing too, that I think is really cool, because just having done so many of your programs, that everything's always unique, that you can go this entire year and it's not like it's the same video every single time that you're watching. So other doctors in the room are going to know what I'm saying, but to the patients as well. So back in the day, I've always been someone like seeking the answers for my patients, right? Like, how can we make this more efficient? How can we get them better results? So I would make a PDF of all the we have it within the clinic actually still. We have this like several page document of like all the different YouTube channels, all the different things that are free. And can I tell you how many people have done it, Allie? 0. I mean, the resource exists. There's free apps and all stuff. It doesn't work because you don't have a plan. It's not easy. It's not in an app. There's no progression. There's no like, well, now I'm at this level, but I actually feel like I'm a little stronger now. You can't customize any of it. And it doesn't work. So I just want to speak to people. If you're listening and you're either on these medications or in any capacity in this world, you need a strength training program. And if you don't have one currently, this is personally who I would endorse, because I've said this for a long time. I myself do it. I've seen the clinical results with patients that have gone through Allie's work. Like, I see them keeping muscle, if not gaining. And then the other thing, if you're a clinician listening, it's like, this is your answer for something that is evidence-based, that works, where you don't have to kind of constantly question, like, is the P90X moment going to come out of it? Like, no, that moment's not. I can't recommend this enough to people. I hope that I know a lot of people, this will be a blessing, like what they've actually been looking for to hear about this.
I'm really, really excited. It's so funny, but I'm waking up every morning, like super excited to record the next thing. And I was really specific about wanting the workouts to be all different and in 3 different levels. And I think it's so cool because in the past I would feel bad. I would meet somebody and I knew that they couldn't probably do the level that I was offering something at. But now it feels so good because I can say, I'm telling you right now, my mother-in-law, who is 75, does level 1. Yeah. So I'm saying, and I'm not telling you like you have, like level 1 is like for somebody who can't really do too much. No, because I'm recording level 1 and I am sore with level 1. Thank you for all your foresight with all of this. And I'm so excited to just really get it out there and just have people enjoy it. Again, it's on our custom app, the Fit Collective app. So as you mentioned, it's super easy. It's one click and there's your workout, and you can stream it to a bigger screen. You can also access it on your desktop. So it's super easy. It's super streamlined. And again, it's fun because I was thinking about it. I do Peloton. I do have a Peloton. And it's funny because I was thinking, are people going to get bored with just me? But then I'm like, no, because when I go on Peloton, I do the same instructor every stinking time. But it's super awesome. And the other cool thing I love about the level one I really tried to spend some extra time on my beginners. I'm cueing every exercise. So if you're ever like not sure on how to do something, I am demonstrating it, I'm cueing it, I'm walking you through it. So I think that beginners in particular are going to be really surprised at what they're able to accomplish with it.
I really love that you're doing that, because I feel like sometimes when people get super advanced, I don't know, maybe they want to go lift something heavy at a gym. Like, I don't know. But although, listen, you have showed me, because I've done more of your advanced stuff, it can be very advanced. Everything you do, I'm like, I don't understand how we're getting this complicated with no equipment. I mean, it really can get advanced. I just want to throw it. I know that everyone in your program says this. It's like, how did it get so hard?
Yeah. Yeah. And so the fun thing is, it's like, great. So we have different levels to kind of work that out, and it can be easier and it can be harder. And it's fun because people have autonomy now. They have, honest to gosh, they have autonomy. Maybe they're a level one upper body, but maybe they're a level two lower body.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That's good that you say that. Totally. I can't. It's actually interesting that in bodies. Actually, let me ask you a sidebar question. Sorry, because I think we have like one more minute here. Do people ever get up in the weeds with, like, when you get a professional in body done, sometimes they have relative to the ranges, they've got more lower body muscle compared to upper body. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing where you then focus them more in a certain direction, or do you not care about that?
So typically, like, most women are going to have that. I have that.
Because that's what I see. And I think some trainers have different thoughts on it, and I always disagree, but I'm glad you agree with me.
Yeah. So most women in general are going to have that, even if it's somebody who stores a lot of their body mass in their lower body. I usually just celebrate them and let them know how cardioprotective that is, and go on with their day. So what I say for them, honestly, it's what they like to do. So people who tend to have more muscle in their lower body, they usually can lift more weight. They usually can, they have a lot of strength. So if that makes them happy and fills them up, great, do it. Also not required. So it's kind of one of those things where it gives us information on embracing your body. So if you're so worried because your pants are a different size than your top, and the top and the bottom are different, that's a normal thing. Okay. And sometimes the in-body can just kind of reveal, yeah, you have a higher percentage compared to average in your lower body. And I just think also too, we talk all about now, obviously I have 2 daughters, right? And so it's all about, body positivity, strong is the new pretty. And I just really think that when we move our body in a way that promotes strength, we all just feel better about ourselves. And so, it's one of those things where seeing that in body and seeing that there's a high percentage of muscle mass, that's kind of empowering.
Very, 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 definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would keep talking for years, but I want to respect your time. Thank you so much for coming on today. And can you tell everybody, how can they find you?
Easiest thing is www.thefitcollective.com. Make sure you put The Fit Collective, or you will go to someplace in Dallas where, I don't know, they sell spandex, but thefitcollective.com, you will find everything I have there. All my programs, my podcast, my blog. There's a place to email us on the website. And then like I said, the podcast is there as well. And then because of you, I'm loving my TikTok. So Ali Novitsky, MD on TikTok. That's where you'll find me.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone's going to be following and learning so much more.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me.
That marks the end of today's episode. But if you're newer to the podcast, I want to tell you about something that we have, and it's a free podcast roadmap. So this is perfect for any of you that are listening where you want to be directed to very specific episodes. So let's say that you are just starting out and you want to know, what should I do right when I start on the medications? Or you're experiencing certain side effects on the GLP-1s, or you want to know what to do if you're in a plateau, or if emotional eating is taking over, or if hunger levels are high. So we have many different categories of episodes that we've talked about, because there's a lot at this point. So if you want to be able to navigate that very easily, we have it broken down by category and also the episodes that are there, and we hyperlink to everything. So you can just click on it and find the episode, easy peasy. If you want that, you can go to renteaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. We'll have it linked right here underneath the show notes where you're listening. And you can go ahead and get that free resource so that it makes it easy for you to navigate, because I know that it's really hard when someone has an established podcast. I am such a podcast fiend. I'm listening to podcasts all day long. And when I find one that I love, but there's a lot that are out there, I am so lost. So I hope that you enjoy this free podcast roadmap. Again, the link to get to that is going to be renteaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. I hope this is helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.